Hello and welcome to the HypnoBirthing free info session. I am so excited for you to be here today to learn more about hypnobirthing. And first, I want to congratulate you on your pregnancy and on taking the step to learning more about your options and educating yourself on how you can ensure that the birth of your child is a positive and safe experience for you, your partner, and your baby. Now, it really isn't enough to just hope for the best. So we recommend that you take it all in today and commend you for being here to start your parenting journey in researching so you can make informed decisions about what's best for your family. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Jodie Solberg, and I have been in mental and behavioral health working with women and families for the past 25 years. I am a certified master hypnotherapist. I actually have been a trauma therapist for my entire career, and I work with a lot of trauma, anxiety, and women who are dealing with postpartum challenges, as well as pre and perinatal psychology, working with expectant parents, as well as with children, teens, and adults. So I've worked with all ages over the years, and I've worked with way too many people who are dealing with postpartum trauma, depression, anxiety, and other mental health challenges. And when I learned more about hypnobirthing, after spending so much time helping people with their fertility struggles, with grief, with past traumatic births, and different experiences that were causing them to have fear and anxiety around pregnancy and birth, I was absolutely blown away by the fact that we can prevent a lot of those challenges with education through teaching self-hypnosis, through being able to empower people to be informed and to really help them to be their own advocate, right? To be able to teach how to have conversations with care providers so you feel like you're an important part of the process and you're making decisions for you versus things just being done to you and not understanding what's happening, and feel really empowered as well to create this calm, comfortable, positive experience instead of being in fear of all the horror stories and everything you may have seen on TV or any past traumatic experiences you may have gone through. Allowing those to shape what your current experience is. I love hypnobirthing because it's evidence-based, and I love it because it works. And that it also helps birthing partners to become an integral part of the birthing journey, that they aren't just left on the outside feeling helpless and hopeless and unable to support their partners. And I love that it helps to empower birthing people to achieve the birth they want. Hypnobirthing isn't just for all natural at-home births. If you're having one of those, that's amazing. However, birth can happen in many different places with many different types of care providers. And so no matter how, when, or where you birth, hypnobirthing can be extremely supportive and help give you the positive experience that you want. Now, what has brought you here? Often when people come to these info sessions with me, they're scared. They're scared of pain, the unknown, of interventions medically, of C-sections, or of natural birth. They may be curious. Maybe they've seen or heard something about hypnobirthing. They're not quite sure what it is and they want to know more. They also can be really nervous. Maybe it's their first baby, or perhaps they've had multiple children, but they weren't all great experiences. They may be scared of horror stories. They've heard other people's stories or seen them on television or just kind of through the grapevine of their own parents' stories or other friends, and they don't want other people's births to be their birth or their next birth, right? Even if it was their negative traumatic experience, they don't want that to be this next birth. And often people share those like a badge of honor. Like, look what I survived and went through, but it can be really scary and it doesn't have to be that way. They also may be looking for alternatives. Right? People come to hypnobirthing because maybe they're not sure if the hospital classes are for them, or they aren't sure how and where they want to birth. And they're looking for information and they're also looking for education, right? Maybe they're wanting to do as many classes as possible, or they're wanting something that's really comprehensive, which, as you're going to learn in a few minutes, hypnobirthing is. We cover all your bases. They also may be looking for support. They're wanting to ensure that they have the right people around them, that they have their partner, whoever they're choosing as their support person, to understand how to support them. And they're also wanting some support and some guidance to help prevent unnecessary medicalization of their birth or to prevent a lot of the postpartum challenges that we hear about, things like pelvic floor damage and mental health challenges postpartum. They're wanting to prevent the trauma. And they're wanting to learn relaxation techniques. Often, too, they're searching for ways to birth in a more calm and potentially natural way because they've heard hypnobirthing focuses on being calm. They want to learn more about that. Often, I hear people who've had past births say, I went to this place and I don't know how to get there because I didn't do it intentionally, but I went into the zone. And I want to know how to do that again because that really helped me, but I didn't do it intentionally. And we can absolutely help you learn how to do that intentionally. Your feelings are normal, whether you're excited or scared or nervous or curious or motivated or confused or searching or literally all of the above. And so you can relax and feel comfortable here knowing that it's a safe place to bring all the feelings and to learn more to help you feel that calm and confidence that you're looking for. Now, what's really happening within our maternity system? There are a lot of statistics out there about birth and about trauma. Worldwide, a third, 33% of women report being traumatized by their birth experience. And that, third of women is a lot. Now, up to 6% of these people go on to develop acute stress disorder or postpartum traumatic stress disorder. A lot of people don't realize how much that is prevalent. There is postpartum depression. People often hear about that. But there's also postpartum anxiety, postpartum PTSD, which I just told you about, postpartum OCD, postpartum psychosis. There's so many different types of postpartum mental health challenges in addition to baby blues. And 1 in 7 mothers, at least, and that's diagnosed and reported, and then 1 in 10 fathers also will develop postnatal depression. So it's birthing people, it's also their partners. And to me, these stats are not okay. And I've seen them over and over again in my practice over the last 25 years. Something's seriously wrong with the system around birth. And believe me, it's not your body that has the issue. Informed consent is so important. Informed consent is a basic human right. Decisions regarding your care should be made after receiving understandable, clear, and evidence-based information on all the risks and all the benefits. And all decisions should be yours to make. Unfortunately, informed consent is not always followed, and many birthing people find themselves having had interventions without having given their consent. So, as you'll see here on the screen, only 48% of women who had a planned C-section were informed and had consented to have their procedure. And 70% of women who had epidurals were informed and had consented, which means 30% had not. And 26% had not been informed or consented to their episiotomies. That's not okay. Now, what is birth trauma? Let's talk about what that actually is. Birth trauma is defined by a loss of sense of control, not feeling heard by health professionals, feeling isolated and alone, feeling anxious and afraid, and fearing for your baby and or your own life. And those long labors with intervention and unexpected events can contribute to that. So that's why we talk about birth trauma effects, because we don't realize all the ways that it can affect us. It can affect your sense of self. Maybe you thought you could do it, but you feel like a failure. You lose some self-esteem. It affects your self-confidence. You doubt your ability to be a good parent, a good partner, doubt your ability to read your baby's cues correctly. It can affect your relationships with your partner, your family, your friends, your social groups. You can feel withdrawn. It also can affect bonding. You don't get that rush of hormones. It affects your bonding with your baby. There's a letdown, recovery, energy, and ability to cope, right? Issues in all of these areas. Future births, trauma stays with you. Yes, you can heal it, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a big investment to do that. I know because I've been helping people to heal from those traumas for so many years. And then there's an effect on the development of your baby too. Staying inside, not interacting, no stimulation, that lack of bonding. The baby may then lack a sense of security and secure attachment. It can lead to future mental health conditions and a delay in your child's development. So that's why my aim for every birthing person is empowerment. It's for it to be a positive experience, for it to be comfortable, for it to be calm, for it to be gentle, for it to be an amazing experience and free of fear, free of pain and extreme discomfort. And I truly believe that birth is transformational. It's an incredible life experience, which can be so positive and so beautiful. And parents can find their most beautiful and most powerful self in the journey of pregnancy and birth with the right support. So, so important to know that you can also feel all of these emotions about your own birth. You can have that calm, amazing, comfortable, confident, free of fear, transformational, incredible, connected, and respectful and feeling respected birth. Now, hypnobirthing, as I mentioned before, is evidence-based childbirth education. It is the original hypnobirthing taught in all countries around the world, 46 of them, right? All over the place. It's offered by many hospitals worldwide. I get a ton of referrals from OBs and midwives, supported by research and data. We always have the most up-to-date evidence-based education in our classes, and it is very comprehensive. Right? This program is being taught everywhere because it is evidence-based, and it has become more and more accepted as a mainstream education option. There's 5 2.5-hour classes helping you to really be educated, informed, empowered, prepared, and being able to have that calm, comfortable, confident birth that you seek. Now, our founder's name was Marie Mongan. She went by Mickey, so Mickey Mongan, and she created hypnobirthing over 3 decades ago. And it's the original childbirth education program. There are lots of lookalike programs. Imitation is the ultimate form of flattery, of course. But like learning to drive a car, it's really important to practice with an instructor, not just watch some videos or look at an app about how to drive. Okay? Having somebody there right next to you while you're in the driver's seat, helping you to practice, can help you to perfect the techniques and utilize them to their fullest. We have a gold seal, or we saw that on that last slide, right? The gold seal of hypnobirthing, and that ensures continual training for educators like me. So you know that my knowledge is completely up to date. And half of hypnobirthing educators are generally midwives and doulas, things of that nature, right? Recommended, like I mentioned, by midwives and obstetricians because it's evidence-based. And a lot of the other half of us come from that mental health background where we want to help people and support birthing parents in having that trauma-free birth experience and preventing a lot of those postpartum challenges. So, so important. We want you to have that positive experience that you truly deserve. Now, the evidence is amazing. 77% of hypnobirthing mothers who birth vaginally did so without epidurals. 45% of hypnobirthing mothers birthed in under 8 hours. 17% of hypnobirthing mothers birth for C-section, which is about half of the national average. There's fewer inductions, less need for painkillers, shorter labors, fewer premature and low birth weight babies, very few cases of postnatal depression, higher birth satisfaction, and a higher breastfeeding rate. Now, as I mentioned, my background is as a hypnotherapist and a trauma therapist. I was trained by a doula who has been a doula for 50 years and a hypnobirthing educator for half of that many years. And she and I have both seen these numbers time and time again. So between Hypnobirthing International and all of Mickey Mongan's teachings, right, all of the techniques, everything that you're going to be learning, which I'm going to talk to you about in a moment, right, and the personal experience of my personal trainer and myself, you're getting so much value. Now, I'm going to break down what happens in the classes and what you're going to learn. So as I mentioned, there's 5 weekly classes, 2.5 hours per class. So it's 12.5 hours of education total. It is a complete antenatal education program, which aims to inform and empower parents rather than teaching you how to be good patients. We educate you on how to be great birthers and great parents. It's a satisfying and positive method of birthing based on the belief that birth is an incredible life experience for the birthing person, their partner, and their baby, and should be treated as such. While you learn lots of techniques in hypnobirthing, things like breathing, deep relaxation, self-hypnosis, visualization, and affirmations, hypnobirthing is also a philosophy, right? So it's techniques and that philosophy that your body instinctively knows how to give birth, just as it somehow knew how to conceive a baby and how to grow that baby. And when you're properly prepared for birthing, physically, mentally, spiritually, all the way around, you can experience the joy of birthing your baby in an easier, more comfortable way. Now, the hypnobirthing philosophy is that we have been birthing since the beginning of time, and we are no different than other mammals. Mammals tend to go into a calm, safe, undisturbed place to birth. This allows their body to naturally perform the task it was designed to do. A lifeguard at a swimming pool wouldn't jump into and assist with an experienced swimmer doing laps. That would upset their rhythm and could even be dangerous. That's how we look at our care providers. They are there for if there are issues, but otherwise they shouldn't disturb a birthing person in labor. Unfortunately, our current maternity system doesn't really always support this. So hypnobirthing gives you a lot of skills to navigate the birth industry in a really confident and non-confrontational way so you can communicate your birth preferences. Again, hypnobirthing philosophy is that pregnant women aren't diseased or ill. It's a normal, natural function of the body, which women have been doing for hundreds of thousands of years. And all women, babies, and births are different. So it's important to know that birth has a natural rhythm and a flow that needs to be left alone to function normally. When a healthy woman carrying a healthy baby, experiencing a healthy labor, trusts birth, is free of fear, and is beautifully relaxed, her body will function normally. So just like driving that car, like I was talking about with learning how to drive, practicing and building on your knowledge each week ensures the cementing in of all of that information. Now, in the first class, we build a positive expectancy. We do an introduction to hypnobirthing, talk about the history of birthing and how nature designed your body to birth instinctively, how to assist and connect your natural birthing instincts. We're going to learn vocabulary for calm and gentle birthing, some wonderful mind-body connection techniques, and we're going to visualize gentle births by viewing birthing videos. Module 2, we fall in love with your baby and prepare your mind and body for birthing. We learn all about the remarkable mind of your unborn baby and how to do pre-birth bonding and parenting. You will learn self-relaxation techniques and some deepening techniques to deepen that relaxation. You'll learn breathing techniques for labor and birthing, do some more visualizations, talk about selecting the right care provider for you, and preparing your mind and body for birthing. Class number 3, we start getting you ready to welcome your baby. We help you prepare birth preference sheets to share with your care providers. Teach you and your partner light touch labor massage, help you create more comfort in labor and birth, give you lots of techniques for reducing or eliminating pain, and how to avoid unnecessary intervention, as well as releasing negative emotions, fears, and limiting thoughts, anything that can get in your way of that calm, comfortable, positive birth experience that you desire. Now, in class number 4, we move into our birthing phases. We start with an overview of labor, talk about the onset of labor and that thinning and opening phase, explain birth simply so that you understand what's happening in your body and with your baby, talk about settling in wherever you're going to be birthing, at home, at the hospital, at a birthing center. We go over the hallmarks of labor, how do you know that you're in labor, and what to do if labor rests or slows, lots of natural methods. Talk about as labor advances, birthing with your baby, working with your body and your baby, and then working together. Talk a lot about birth partner support in this class as well, so they know how to support you best. And talk also about protecting your natural birthing experience, how to have those conversations with your care providers in a very respectful, but also empowered way. And we go over some birth rehearsal imagery as well, which is wonderful. Now, in the last class, module 5, get you ready to welcome your baby. So we move into birthing. We talk about positions for descent and for birthing. And we talk about how to breathe your baby down to birth rather than using forced pushing and why that's really important and more beneficial for you and your baby. We also discuss those golden hours and that golden month after birth, which is often called the 4th trimester. And we discuss family bonding with your baby. Now, by the time you are done with the hypnobirthing course, you will know all of these things. You'll understand the stages of labor and how to navigate them. You'll know how your body and baby work together instinctively. You will have a whole lot of relaxation and self-hypnosis techniques to help you have that calm, comfortable, reduced, if not pain-free experience, right? We're going to be calm and comfortable and positive experience. Nutrition for pregnancy and birth, supportive techniques for your birth partner, breathing techniques to help birth your baby, visualization techniques. We're going to know all about special circumstances and medical interventions so you can be informed and educated to make empowered decisions. You're going to understand how to do massage for eliminating or reducing pain. All about positions and movement for labor and birth, what's going to be most supportive for you, comfort measures for labor and birth, all about pre and perinatal bonding and nurturing your baby, and how to advocate for your birth choices. Now, what are parents saying about hypnobirthing? You'll see a couple testimonials here where it's so powerful to see these people be empowered, informed, and educated to birth naturally and smoothly, and to really have this beautiful experience, right? Whether they're in the hospital, whether they're having a home birth, whether they're at a birth center, if it's a water birth or a land birth, it's so beautiful to hear these stories. Now, here's another amazing experience where Panita talks about feeling in control and totally relaxed and trusting her body. That all of the resources that you're provided in the hypnobirthing course are so helpful. We have a book, which I will show you. So we have our hypnobirthing textbook here. We have a workbook and we have audio downloads. So you're going to have absolutely everything you need for this wonderful birth experience. And then this is actually a recent picture from a couple that I worked with who actually the mom, it was not her first birth. She had had several births. This was her 8th baby. Now, it was also her 13th pregnancy. So she had gone through grief and loss and some trauma in the past. And she had always had a feeling that she was bracing herself for birth, and she didn't want that. This was their first baby together. They're a blended family, and this was going to be her last pregnancy at 44. And she really wanted to feel confident, to feel excited, to release her fear, and to allow her husband to be a big part of this with her. She really wanted him there to support her, to guide her, and to be a part of this beautiful birthing experience. Okay, so whether this is your first baby or you've had several, this is a completely different experience. Now you'll see beautiful little Amora Sophia here, and the picture on the right in the tan outfit is actually just within hours of birth, and the one on the left is about a week and a half old. She was absolutely beautiful. Her birth was quick and smooth, with her daddy receiving her, and she absolutely is just inquisitive and is very much wanting to explore the world. And as you can see, one of her sisters said that she cries in lowercase. So she's not an explosive crier. She's a calm, very intelligent, securely attached, and inquisitive little baby. Now, there's also a video that I would like to show you. It's a quick video testimonial from someone where it was her first pregnancy. And unlike Jamie, she didn't have an all-natural home birth. She did end up going into the hospital and having a C-section using hypnobirthing. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you so that you can see a different type of experience. Because again, no matter how and when or where you birth, hypnobirthing is an amazing technique that you can utilize no matter which way your birthing takes a turn to.
Hi, my name's Brownie Rafter, and hypnobirthing the Mongan method worked for me, via C-section. So I got pregnant after I tried to fall pregnant for probably 8 years and 6 months worth of fertility treatment and 1 successful IVF. So to say the least, I was a bit nervous when I got pregnant. So I was at my acupuncturist's office and I saw a card and a book for hypnobirthing the Mongan method, and I thought, wow, this looks like me. This looks like something that I could really benefit from, that my baby could benefit from, that my partner could benefit from. So I inquired with the lady at the desk, who was Patricia Cummings, who is a hypnobirthing teacher. And from there on, me and my partner, we went to hypnobirthing classes. They were amazing. Patricia was amazing. Hypnobirthing the Mongan method was everything that I thought it would be, plus more. It centered me. It created such a calm feeling within me, doing all the meditations, knowing that there was no fear with birthing, that there didn't need to be any anxiety or nerves, that it's natural, and that us as women, we only grow what we can birth, and that that through breath, through visualizations, the relaxation opens up everything like a flower. And it was just amazing for me, because throughout my pregnancy I grew a beautiful big baby, not too big for my body, but a big baby, and became quite uncomfortable So every day, every night, every time I felt a little bit uncomfortable, I would do my meditations and I would listen to the Stephen Halpin CD. I would listen to the Hypnobirthing Morgan Method CDs, and the Rainbow Relaxation was amazing. Doing all the visualizations, the Silver Glove Method, that was amazing. That was actually fantastic. That was the best meditation I had. I had Patricia Cummings as my doula, and that was an absolute lifesaver because she would come over and do some hypnosis with me, and because towards the end I was getting a little bit anxious, little things were happening here and there, and I was having to go and get checked out quite a bit. And towards the end, a decision had to be made. There was some reduced fetal movements, and just intuition that something wasn't right. There were a few other little issues that were going on, and it turned out that the baby may not have coped as well with a 12-hour induction. That possibly could have turned into a emergency C-section, which would have then, possibly with my scoliosis, I would have ended up having to have general anaesthetic. So the decision I made in a calm space with my doula and my partner was that I would have a planned C-section, and this C-section would be a hypnobirthing C-section. So we had planned it for the next morning, first thing, and I went up to the hospital room and I meditated the whole night, and literally ended up from being so nervous, about surgery, to so relaxed. Like, my partner rocked up in the morning, he was nervous by then because he had kept calm all night, and my doula the night before had actually done lots of hypnosis and just being amazing and supportive, and I was glowing. I was so excited. I was going to meet my baby boy after so long trying to have him, falling pregnant, going through the pregnancy, and then now going to meet him. And wow, it was amazing. I went in and it was just so beautiful. There was like a team of like 11, different nurses and midwives and doctors and surgeons, and they were amazing. It was like a big birthday party, and I had to have a spinal block, and I meditated through the whole thing. They had to like put it into my back, the big needle, 15, maybe 10, 15 times, and honestly didn't feel it because I meditated. I did the rainbow relaxation. I had someone there that was just like, come on, keep doing your hypnobirthing meditation, and he was really supportive. The hospital was really supportive of it all, and it was the most amazing experience. And you know what? I wouldn't have changed it for a thing. People say, oh, are you sad about not being able to do a hypnobirth? I say I did a hypnobirth and it was fantastic, and I wasn't one bit stressed. I wasn't one bit. I breastfed on the surgery table. He went straight to, and I tell you what, my baby is the like poster child for hypnobirthing because he is the most calmest little baby. Here he is here, just sleeping in my arms. He's so chilled. He is I have such a happy baby, such a happy baby. And it's thanks to HypnoBirthing, the Morgan method, because I I'm a hypno mummy, my baby's a hypno baby. And another thing that I just wanted to say is, one thing with hypnobirthing is that, it teaches you that no matter what circumstance happens, to have full control, full knowledge and power to make the right decision for you and your baby, and that no matter what happens, you can visualize these beautiful births, and they are beautiful, and you may end up having to go another way, but with hypnobirthing, it's a beautiful birth no matter what, and it's your birth. It's how it was meant to be. So there's no trauma, no disappointment, there's almost no expectation, even though you have the visualizations. That is, that's positive affirmations that are going on, and even when you don't have what you visualize, it's the most happy experience you could ever have, and it's the calmest experience. So yeah, hypnobirthing, the Morgan method, is definitely the way to go. Thank you. Bye.
So that was just a beautiful experience that I wanted to share with you. And what do hypnobirthing dads and partners say? It really, really helps them to feel connected, to know how to encourage their partners, to know how to reassure their partners, to be able to understand that they have a role to play, that they're not just an outsider, that there's nothing that they can do, that they don't have to feel helpless and sit on the sidelines, that they can truly bond with their partners and with their babies. Now, I'm going to give you some really quick tips to achieving a positive birth, right? How to avoid birth trauma and how to have an amazing birth instead. So, tip number one is all about your team. It's about who is there to support you. And it could be anybody. It could be your partner if you have one. It could be your care providers. It could be a doula, a student midwife, a close friend, a family member. And in my opinion, this is one of the things that people often miss the mark on. Because if you're like most people, when you find out you're pregnant, you go to your general practitioner for your blood tests. And when discussing where you're going to have the baby, they may have asked, do you have private health insurance or not? And then your answer determines whether you're going to be at a public or a private hospital, and your location maybe determine the rest. Unfortunately, this is the wrong question for them to ask. Your question to answer really should be, how would you like to birth? What kind of birth do you want? And then they could explain to you the pros and cons of your 7 different options. Yes, there's actually 7. That's a lot of options. So it should be reiterated that your team needs to understand you, support you, respect you, listen to you, and care about you and your unique personality, your values and preferences, and your specific pregnancy. So to have a very successful birth, you need to feel safe. You need to feel secure and able to put your total trust in those around you that they're going to advocate for you and protect you no matter what. So if you made a quick decision, again, it might surprise you to hear that you have 7 options. Right? You have options about your team. You have options of who you're going to have with you, your partner, your care providers, other support people. And you have options on where you're going to birth. You may have a private birth with your OB. You may have a public birth at a birth center or a general hospital. You may work with an independent midwife. You may be a private patient. You may share care with your general practitioner. So you could have multiple care providers. And you can also have a home birth. So you want to really think about what type of birth you want first, and then the level of support that you want throughout your labor. We're going to go over all of these options in the hypnobirthing class, and a lot of these answers with your birth preferences are going to determine where you want to birth and who you want to support you. Now, tip number 2 is about your birth prep. Right? It's all about your preparation that you and your birth partner need to understand the physical, hormonal, and emotional process of labor. You need a variety of techniques to help with pain relief, and you both need to know how to navigate communication with care providers and the hospital system if that's where you're going to be giving birth. With all of this knowledge comes power, right? So we want to be informed to be empowered. Tip number 3 is all about your mindset. Our body is directed by our mind. So the secret is all about your mindset and what's going through your mind. Fear and stress has a hugely damaging effect on labor. You need to clear any fears from not just the conscious part of your mind, but the deep subconscious part. It's all about having 100% confidence and trust in yourself and your team so that when you're in labor, you can totally surrender to the birth process and trust your body and your baby to know what to do. We want your partner to know what to do to support you. And so their mindset is very important as well. Tip number 4, hypnosis. Often people can't understand how hypnosis could be used in labor, and that's okay because I'm going to explain it in detail during the course. The first thing it can do is transform how you are experiencing sensations. So something that you initially considered painful can now be felt as something else. And using hypnosis can help direct your body to relieve the pain sensations that you experience and help you experience comfort and pain relief. Hypnosis is also amazing for clearing fears easily. The deep relaxation experience during hypnosis means the subconscious part of your mind is accessed easily, and any fears around pregnancy, birth, and parenting can be cleared quickly and smoothly. Now, hypnosis also allows you to go into deep relaxation in a matter of seconds. And this is a state that you need to be in during your labor because you can be in such a deep, beautiful, relaxed state that all of those birthing hormones can flow and can make your labor shorter and more comfortable. Now, hypnosis is one of the 6 areas we focus on in hypnobirthing. Most people have only ever seen stage hypnosis or something on television, so they don't understand how it could be used in pregnancy and birth. Birth hypnosis is not like what you see on stage or television. There will be no clucking like chickens in the birthing suite, I promise. Hypnosis is a natural state. Everyone has experienced it. Things like daydreaming, meditation, being focused at work, that nice feeling before you fall asleep, and the one that you are experiencing when you're deep in thought or really, thinking about the future with your baby, right? And then the one with honestly affects us pretty often, which is highway hypnosis, where you kind of check out on the way home and you're thinking about your to-do list and what you're going to make for dinner tonight. You will know that feeling because all of us have done this. You've arrived home and you can't remember parts of the journey because you were thinking about something else. Yeah, that's that same feeling. Okay. So when you're super relaxed, you're highly open, responsive to change in thoughts called suggestions. We have this innate ability called neuroplasticity, which is our ability to change in our brains. And we're going to explore that mind body connection and how our brain actually can direct, our mind can direct our bodies and how they affect each other. Hypnosis and hypnobirthing is used to clear fears, release natural pain killing hormones, change perception of sensations, help you stay alert, focused, and energized, and allow birthing hormones to be released properly. The most important thing to remember is that all hypnosis is self hypnosis. It's all in your hands. You're the one that needs to follow along with any of the words. If I'm saying them, or you're listening to a recording, or you're relaxing for yourself, no one can force you to do that. If you don't want to, you don't have to, right? But you're going to get some amazing benefits for doing that. And then tip number 5 is commitment. Preparing for birth isn't a matter of just reading a book or two, watching this video, and thinking you're done. It takes time to practice the techniques, to learn about birth, and to research all of the tests, routine procedures, and options out there for your birthing. I highly recommend watching birth videos, checking out documentaries and TED Talks, etc. And I share a lot of those in the hypnobirthing course. Read books about birth and positive birth stories. It's all about replacing any negative thoughts with positive ones. So, for just a minute, I'd like you to think about preparing for a marathon. You get a great team around you. You have your mindset right. You train your body. You commit to an exercise routine, and no one would blink an eye at what you're doing. Everyone would be supportive. Let's start to shift our thinking around birth in that way and celebrate this journey and be prepared for what's to come so that you can have that really positive birth experience. Now, I'm going to show you one more video before we close out with some details on my upcoming classes. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started so you can watch a positive hypnobirth. So there you can see all of that support and all of that love and the energy around that beautiful, calm, confident hypnobirth. So why consider hypnobirthing and specifically independent childbirth education? Well, first of all, as independent childbirth educators, we are specialists in our field. It's not based on policies. You're going to be able to watch birth videos just like that one that will inspire rather than frighten you. You're going to learn a wide range of tools and options for natural pain relief. You're going to know all of your options for childbirth. You get to know and build a relationship with your teacher. Your support people can have more involvement because they can attend your hypnobirthing classes. So your partner, whoever you'd like to be your birth companion, can join you. And you're going to be more informed by creating your birth preferences, being able to learn how to advocate for yourself and have those conversations with your care providers. Now, here is of the cost of a lot of things having to do with having a new baby, right? Those incidentals and all the nursery furniture. There's so many expenses. And your hypnobirthing classes for a positive birth can range anywhere on average for hypnobirthing between $450 and $900 for a class. And this gives you the memory of your birth that lasts forever. And you'll also learn tools and techniques that you're going to be able to use forever as well. You're going to be able to use them up until birth, after birth, during breastfeeding, future pregnancies perhaps, but also you're going to learn a lot of great stress relief, anxiety relief techniques that are going to last a lifetime. Now, my pricing for you today for watching this info session is actually $435 for the investment for a group class and $699 for a private class. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, I may have different dates and times available. So let's definitely make sure to connect so I can give you my current dates and times. But typically, I hold classes on Wednesdays and Sundays. And I will have classes either or both afternoon and evening in the Pacific time zone so that can accommodate for many time zones around the country and around the world, whether you're in Eastern time or a completely other part of our globe. And on Sundays in the afternoons as well, Pacific time. So you can translate that into your time zone. And you can also find me locally if you're in Washington State, in the northwest corner of Washington State, doing in-person classes at places like the Mount Vernon Birth Center and the Holding Space in Anacortes, Washington. Now, if you want to book a private class, you can actually book any time that works for both of us. And so you're going to have a lot more flexibility in scheduling. But I do hold classes virtually, and I hold them with people, like I said, all over the country, all over the world. So please let me know what is going to work for you, and we'll work out those scheduling options. Now, you can pay with things like a credit card or Venmo or PayPal for your classes, and it's a $100 deposit to hold your space. If you'd like to pay in full, you can do that, or if you'd like to make payments over the 5 weeks of classes, you can do that as well. You also can potentially use things like your HSA card. So we can talk about those options. Now, if you have questions or you just want to work out scheduling with me, for example, I would love to answer those. And I'm going to be available to you by email, by phone, or you can book a free 30-minute video chat with me to get those questions answered. You can reach me on my website at psychedupsuccess.com, and I'll make sure that where you're watching this video, you will have that information available to you. Or you can email me at jodie@psychedupsuccess.com or reach me by phone, and that number is 425-608-1867. You can call or text me. So please get in touch if you have any questions. You can also find me on my HypnoBirthing site, and you can look at my entire schedule of classes there. If you go to HypnoBirthing and look up my name, you can find me there and view the entire schedule. But I just want to say thank you. I look so forward to supporting you, to working with you, and to being a part of this beautiful journey to parenthood. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'll look forward to connecting with you soon.